The human condition, I think, is that we are simultaneously, or at different times perhaps, too hard on ourselves and too easy on ourselves. I think that we sometimes do it at the same time on the same subject, right? And I think it's important to find a balance, right? You should not be too hard on yourself. If you fail something, especially something that, you're first starting out on, you're going to fail. You're going to suck. You're going to be bad at it. And it's okay. It's natural, It's not, I don't think, besides like very fringe cases, like Mozart was a genius at piano by the time he was 5 or something like that. Okay, sure, but he's Mozart. You're not Mozart, and that's okay, right? As cool as it would be to be Mozart, kind of, he also, from what I understand, his life kind of sucked outside of being great at piano. So, you know, there's that too. But, you know, it's okay to not be Mozart. You're not Mozart. You're not going to be a genius at something the first time you pick it up. So you shouldn't be too hard on yourself, right? If you fail at something that you've really not had much practice in, that's okay, right? It's not that big a deal. Just get up, dust yourself off, and get back in it. At the same time, it's also important not to be too easy on yourself, right? Like if you've been promising yourself again and again, if you've been telling yourself again and again, over and over again, like, I'm going to get up earlier, I'm going to set myself a certain goal, and you just do not do it day in and day out, and you're just not doing it. Don't slip into the trap of being too easy on yourself. Like you want to put, you should start disciplining yourself. Like put into place some additional guardrails to make it easier for yourself to accomplish those tasks. But also, don't give yourself too much grace. Like, just the, oh, I'm just a girl. Don't give yourself too much grace there, because like if you've been promising yourself something for weeks, for months, for years even, and you just have not done it. Because I want you to think about this. If you made a promise to somebody every single day for years and you never followed through, would they still want to be friends with you? Would you feel good about breaking a promise to someone every single day for years? No, you wouldn't. So why are you okay with doing it to yourself? Right? Now, on the flip side of that as well, with being too hard on yourself, it's again really easy to beat ourselves up over messing something up, failing, And I think it gets easier to beat ourselves up about it the more experienced we get, actually. For some people, they learn how difficult a task is, and so they start to learn that, okay, you know what? It's okay to screw this up sometimes. But it's easy to beat ourselves up about a failure. But try to remember that, like, imagine your best friend in the whole world, screwed up just like you did. And you were the one in charge of, like, either giving them grace or bringing the hammer down. What would you do? You'd probably cut them some slack. You'd be like, hey, man, you're totally fine. It happens. We all make mistakes, right? Why aren't you doing that for yourself? And so I have these two views, right? And I think it is important to bring them together. Because, again, you don't want to fall into the trap of giving yourself too much grace, right? Because then you slip into complacency. You say, oh, well, it's okay. It's not that big a deal. We all screw up. It's not that big a deal, right? But at the same time, you don't want to fall into the trap of giving yourself not enough grace, because then you start to get discouraged or you just feel very unfulfilled, right? Because you're chasing the minutia, I feel like, and you're kind of missing the big picture. So it's important to bring them together to say, like, okay, if I screw up, it is okay to screw up. It happens. Mistakes happen. But I'm going to set myself to a higher standard from now on. Right? Every time I make a mistake, I'm going to make sure that it's corrected so I don't make that mistake again. Right? You hold yourself to this higher standard. So literally every time that you screw up something, you raise the bar a little bit. to say, okay, next time I attempt it, I'm not going to make that mistake. Then you make another mistake. What do? You raise the bar. You set a higher standard for yourself. And I think that that is a really good way to balance the two, because you're giving yourself grace. You're saying, okay, no, it's fine. It is okay to make mistakes, but I'm not going to let it happen again. And that, I think, is an important mixture of the two, because you can't really, a lot of the time when you don't give yourself any grace, a lot of the time you don't really try again. And so I think that it's really important to make sure that you're giving yourself enough, just enough leeway to understand that you're not going to be perfect. But you should raise the bar so that you chase perfection, if that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, that's all I got for you. If you made it all the way to the end, as always, I appreciate you. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Peace.